Welcome back to the channel. Today, we uncover the real stories behind the turning points of ancient history. Today, we're diving into one of the most pivotal naval confrontations in the classical world, the Battle of Actium. Fought in 31 BCE, this was not just a military clash between Octavian and Mark Antony. It was the final blow in a long civil war that reshaped the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. It was a war of propaganda, political genius, and personal rivalry. By the end of this video, you'll all understand how Octavian's strategic acumen and Antony's fatal miscalculations determined the fate of Rome. The origins of the Battle of Actium lie in the collapse of the Second Triumvirate, an uneasy alliance between Octavian, Mark Antony, and Lepidus. Formed after Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, the triumvirate was intended to stabilize Rome. But after Lepidus was sidelined, Octavian and Antony became inevitable rivals. Antony's growing alliance, both political and romantic, with Cleopatra VII of Egypt, alienated him from Rome's elite and gave Octavian a perfect opportunity to cast him as a traitor. The tension between East and West, Rome and Alexandria, loyalty and ambition, built steadily toward war. By 32 BCE, the ideological battle lines were clear. Octavian presented himself as the savior of Roman tradition, while portraying Antony as the puppet of Cleopatra and a man ready to hand over Rome to a foreign queen. This narrative, carefully constructed and spread by Octavian's propaganda machine, was crucial. He convinced the Senate to declare war not on Antony directly, but on Cleopatra, framing the campaign as a defense of Rome against Eastern despotism. It was a shrewd move that allowed him to unite Roman public opinion behind his cause. Antony and Cleopatra amassed a large fleet and established their position at Actium, a narrow promontory on the western coast of Greece, controlling the entrance to the Ambracian Gulf. Their force was formidable, around 500 ships, including massive quinqueremes. But their strength was undercut by a lack of unity and logistical strain. Octavian, guided by the brilliant general Agrippa, had fewer ships, around 250, but they were more agile and better manned. Crucially, Agrippa cut off Antony's supply lines through a series of naval blockades and coastal raids, slowly starving his fleet and demoralizing his troops. The battle itself took place on September 2, 31 BC. Antony attempted a breakout from the increasingly untenable position at Actium, planning to smash through Octavian's line and flee to Egypt. However, Octavian's navy, under Agrippa's tactical direction, held a tight formation and took advantage of the smaller, faster Liburnian vessels. Antony's larger ships were less maneuverable in the choppy waters. In a shocking moment, Cleopatra's fleet, positioned in the rear, broke through the battle line and fled south, possibly prearranged with Antony. Antony then followed her with a handful of ships, effectively abandoning the battle and sealing the fate of his forces. With their leaders gone, the remaining soldiers and sailors had no direction. Many surrendered to Octavian, and some were absorbed into his ranks. The war was not over in name, but in effect, it was decided. Octavian pursued Antony and Cleopatra to Egypt. In 30 BCE, as Octavian closed in on Alexandria, both committed suicide, Antony by falling on his sword, Cleopatra through what was likely poison rather than the fabled asp. Octavian had won not just a battle, but control over the Roman world. Octavian's victory was not only military, but ideological. He returned to Rome not as a dictator, but as princeps, the first citizen. He carefully dismantled the image of monarchy while consolidating absolute power, initiating the Augustan Principate. The Battle of Actium became the foundational myth of his rule. Coins, poetry, and architecture celebrated the victory as the restoration of order and the defeat of Eastern decadence. Virgil's Aeneid even mythologized Actium, casting Octavian as the divine agent of Rome's destiny. Cleopatra's role in the battle and its political symbolism cannot be overstated. Far from being merely a seductress, she was a sovereign ruler defending her throne and her kingdom's independence. Her fleet and treasury were critical to Antony's war effort. Yet Roman historiography, influenced by Augustan propaganda, reduced her to a cautionary tale of Eastern excess and female power ran amok. Only in modern scholarship has her political and strategic agency been re-examined with more nuance. Historians continue to debate the deeper causes of Antony's failure. Was it truly Cleopatra's influence? Or was it his strategic indecisiveness, his reliance on cumbersome naval vessels, or simply Octavian's superior planning? Some argue Antony was already weakened by years of campaigning in the East and a declining support base in Rome. Others emphasize Agrippa's naval genius and Octavian's ruthless control of the narrative. What is clear is that Actium was not a single-day event. It was the culmination of years of careful positioning, both militarily and politically. The Battle of Actium marks the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of an empire that would last for centuries. Octavian's triumph over Antony and Cleopatra wasn't just about ships and soldiers. It was about legitimacy, image, and control of the future. His victory laid the foundation for a new political order, one that cloaked autocracy in republican ideals. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive into one of history's most decisive battles insightful, please like, subscribe, and share and join us next time as we continue to uncover the forces that shaped the ancient world.